Hello all, welcome to the Thoughts Party. I hope you are doing extremely well. Today I'm going to talk about fetishization of black women and white men relationships. Now, as always on the Thoughts Party, I want us to all have our own opinions and our own thoughts. So I will give my thoughts and opinions on an article that I saw. And the reason why I'd like to highlight this article is because we always speak about the positives, but in order for us to be unbiased and balanced, we need to know about all articles, and we also need to know the ins and outs of situations before we make full, complete judgments about things. So I came across an article, it was quite a few years ago it happened, and it was of a black girl that was 19 years of age, and she had met a white male online, and he was a loner, but he didn't present himself as a loner. He had made fake Facebook friends, and then also what he'd done is he'd made his own profile, fake Facebook profile. So then he'd added each of those Facebook profiles to each other. So it then made it look like he had many mutual friends. So he was building up a profile, doing this all with the notion that this girl that he murdered, called Catherine Winters, would think that he had many friends and that he was quite an exciting person. But little did she know that he wasn't. So there are some articles I'd like to read to you, just so you know, because I know with all of our excitement about Lauren and Cameron, we need to have at the back of our minds that Lauren and Cameron didn't go in to seek each other. They went in with an open mind. And Cameron, in his case, he was ready. He had a house ready for a wife and kids. He was ready for marriage and ready for kids. And for Lauren, she was being very realistic. She'd come to the point in her life where she said she was living like a hermit and that it was quite a dire situation with her dating. And she needed to do something. So when she was asked to cast for the show, she embraced it with full arms. She was ready to do it because she said it could go both ways. It could be an opportunity of a lifetime, or she could leave there getting married. So their situation was different, and also they were vetted heavily, obviously, before coming on. So that part was already taken care of. But where the fetishization comes in is because you see Cameron and Lauren, so you may think that, oh, maybe every single story will turn out like that. But like I've said continuously, when things are meant to be, they are meant to be. And you need to always get into the habit of asking questions when you're dating. Make sure you're vetting. Vet. I cannot stress that enough. Vet. Go through a process that is mundane. Make sure you're asking questions. Make sure that you're looking at red flags. Okay, so just don't take yes for an answer. Be more methodical. Keep prodding. Don't just act desperate just because your partner's ticked a few boxes. So you think, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. No, you need to go through the process. So let me read this article to you, and then you'll know the importance of not just taking things as it comes on the surface, but actually digging deeper and delving in to the unknown. That's the only way you'll be able to vet and know, because you can't possibly know someone if you've not had any help with vetting. In the case of Love is Blind, they'd already vetted each other. And also they got to know each other on an emotional level. It's not like that in the real dating world. See, not unless you go on a blind date. So it's really difficult to know someone's true intents, you know? So let's just have a read of this. I want you to be balanced, and I want you to offer your thoughts about this. Okay? So, a karate instructor who murdered a church-going teenager as she babysat two young children. These two young children were her nieces or her nephew and niece. But they were her sister's children, because I read somewhere else that her sister said they need to advocate for race porn and submissive black women porn in particular and all the submissive role plays, the slave porn needs to be completely cancelled from all porn sites. So, a karate instructor who murdered a church-going teenager as she babysat two young children was jailed for 25 years. So, a karate instructor, he was a karate instructor. He murdered a church-going teenager as she babysat two young children, and he was jailed for 25 years. His name is Tony Bushby, 19. He tricked a promising student, Catherine Winter, into going out with him by using fake Facebook friends and then stabbed her to death as she looked after, so it was her niece and nephew. The horror unfolded on Boxing Day. That's the 26th of December in the UK. Last year, so that was in 2011. Last year, as she babysat for her sister, Sabrina, who was spending the night away from home with her boyfriend. Catherine Winter was murdered whilst babysitting in Boreham Wood, Hertfordshire. Catherine Winter was murdered whilst babysitting. Her elder sister had warned Miss Winter, 19, to lock the door and not let anybody in. Bushby stabbed her 23 times and left her body locked in the house with the youngsters. So after he stabbed her for 23 times, he left her body there with the two toddlers. Heartless and cruel. It's just heartless and cruel. Her body locked in the house with the youngsters overnight. When her mother went to check on her the following morning, she was told by the children, aged 3 and 4, Grandma, Katie's dead. She followed a trail of blood and found her daughter lying dead on the kitchen floor at the house in Boreham Wood, Hertfordshire, in a pool of blood. Following the murder, Bushby went to his family home nearby and destroyed his mobile to cover up what had happened and destroy evidence. Terrible, cruel person. Callous. Police visited him after examinations of Miss Winter's laptop and phone led them to conclude he was her boyfriend. When detectives studied his computer, they found he had set up a fictitious circle of friends on Facebook, all of whom he had used to communicate with Katie, convincing her they were real. The profile pages for Dan, Tress, Sin, Darwin, Shane Pluon, and Crystal Strangard featured photographs Bushby had found online. He was behind all the characters, and they reflected his obsessions and interests with all things dark and evil. He even went on to blame one of his creations, Dan Tress, for Katie's murder. Bushby denied murder, but was convinced by a jury at St Albans Crown Court on Tuesday. Miss Winter's mother, Joy Davis, told how her world had crashed around her following the murder of her daughter. In a victim impact statement read to the court, Mrs. Davis said it was impossible to describe the devastation the loss of Katie had caused. She described her daughter as truly unique, one in a million, and irreplaceable. So it says here, obsessed, Tony Bushby created a circle of friends to persuade the naive Christian to go out with him before mercilessly stabbing her. That is very sad. And the way they have put their obsessed Tony Bushby created a circle of friends to persuade the naive Christian to go out with him before mercilessly stabbing her. That is absolutely awful. Really, really awful. And there is also, I'll put these articles down in the comment section below, in the description box, sorry. I'll put both of them. There's another one as well from The Guardian. So there you have it, guys. I don't want you to be naive. I don't want you to paint all black women and white men relationships with one paintbrush. I want you to be open. I want you to vet. I want you to ask questions. I don't want you to be naive. I want you to be balanced and unbiased. Know the histories of your people when you're coming together. Make sure you're, ironing all of that out there when you talk to people when you're dating. Just make sure that you fully got your thinking cap secured on. Please, please, please. This is the age where we've got Google, we can search. Naivety is absolutely not a choice anymore. So I leave that with you guys. As always, your thoughts, your opinions are so, so, so welcome. And I thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you think, what you'd want for the next video. And as always, on the Thoughts Party, we welcome your thoughts. Thank you, guys. Bye.